I'd like to welcome you to the February BlueDragon National Forum. It's a pleasure to have you all. It looks like we're going to hit about 60 participants today. This is fantastic. The majority of our client sites are here. In addition to some prospective clients, I mentioned one, Ontario Power Generation, which the entire nuclear utility is looking to bring in BlueDragon at an enterprise level. So we're excited about that. Let's talk about the updates for today. And I'd like to give you a couple of seconds on my experience with Lean Six Sigma. A number of us were there the last couple of days. I flew back on the red eye. It was a fun conference. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. The client survey results are in. So I did a Pareto analysis of your survey results, and I have some charts to show you. I like to put out the forum schedule. It's actually a link to a Lucid chart, so you can sign up and let's see what we can do for the next few months. We're looking for April and May, because March we're going to tie up with more AI. And I'd like an update to the site contact list. I'll give you the spreadsheet on the chat here. Just a reminder that we have an upcoming workshop in Oak Ridge, and also that tomorrow is the final case study for the February cohort. They will graduate tomorrow, and some of them are here today with us. Here we go. So just real quick, I had a 2-hour presentation, and many of you use Lean Six Sigma, correct? And Lean Six Sigma teaches a little bit of root cause. They mainly teach fishbones and 5 whys. So what they teach is, of course, the traditional tools and techniques. And as you know, that doesn't really give you a good result, right? It's kind of dated, especially with the modernization of everything around us. These tools and techniques were from the 70s and before, the 1970s and before, last century. So I had to make the point that root cause analysis is actually the bigger umbrella under which we do some data analysis. You know, it's a whole approach for eliminating variability and waste in a process and optimizing a manufacturing process. But if you want to really figure out what's truly the major deep-seated causes of the organization, then you got to do root cause analysis. And Lean Six Sigma did not do a good job. So that was quite well received. And I have a lot of companies, including Siemens and Northrop Grumman, that are following up with us here next week. Okay, so that's enough of that. Now for the client survey. Thank you all. I appreciate the feedback. It's something that we have to do to understand what's going on and how much further we have to go. And of course, I'm not really terribly excited or happy about the results. I wish they were better. If we look at these first couple of charts, how often are these organizations, these client sites using it? The vast majority are using it less than 3 times a year. A number are using it 0. That was not fun to see, that BlueDragon is only being broken out when it's a big root cause. And I'm trying to get across the chart on the right that it's very scalable. You can easily do a rapid apparent cause in about an hour, 2 or 3. Okay, so that will give you much better trending and analysis results and head off issues proactively before they turn into big events. So don't wait for the big event that requires a root cause. Let's apply these same exact approaches to the smaller issues. Do as many more as you can. And AI is going to help us. So this is the excitement that I have an example to show you that we were able to do in a matter of seconds what would take us 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So the initial little test case that we did was very cool. All right, the next chart here, I like this one a lot. Of course, it's disturbing. But folks take the class, they go back, and the vast majority do not use it. They lose the skill set. That's a big problem. But the one that got my attention was the lack of organizational support and management buy-in. So look at those two, right? Lack of organizational support and lack of management buy-in are huge. If you combine those two, that's a huge percentage of the client side saying, we're not getting the support that we need, because those two are almost saying the same thing. And that's a big problem that we've had so much trouble overcoming. And part of it, and the reason I've pivoted to a different approach in the future, is that we usually get brought in by some organization like quality assurance. and they want to train a few people. And then they run into all these roadblocks because the management team doesn't know what they're doing. They haven't seen these products before, and it's an uphill battle. So we're pivoting to starting at the top of the organization, getting a few people in the class so they understand what we're doing, but then going right to the leadership and saying, this is a different model. It requires a lot of support. It is not something that, like the traditional stuff that you just get a tool and you get a chart, a Pareto chart or an ENCF chart or something like that. So there's a lot more involved. It requires resources, although for small periods of time. So we're also really advertising the hidden cost calculator. What is the hidden cost that nobody calculates of your thousands of condition reports every year? That is a huge number. And folks don't understand that they're burning this money, usually millions of dollars a year, on overhead. And all these thousands of recurring issues every year are not getting resolved because the in-depth root cause is not getting done. So the return on investment is there if you apply this correctly across the enterprise. And that's a hard message to get across, but we're going to try our best. The next slide is these last two slides are very good. I really appreciate getting this feedback. About 60% of you told us that the time to complete a root cause was cut down by 50% or 75%. It improved by more than 50% for almost 60% of you, which is fantastic. So imagine all that time savings. Usually it takes weeks and weeks to do root causes. A smaller percentage of you said you only saved about 25% of the time, and a good chunk said there's no difference at all. So I wonder who can give me some intel on why you couldn't do BlueDragons any faster than the regular root causes. And I think I know the answer. It comes back to that other chart, lack of management support. You need people to work with you or it doesn't work. And if you do the value stream map, you'll notice that the work time, the takt time is actually a matter of hours, but the total duration is weeks because you're sitting around waiting. Okay. And the last chart is actually my favorite because it's all about the accuracy. And 82% of you said, 82% of client sites said that accuracy improved by more than 60%. And half of the clients responded that their accuracy actually improved by more than 90%, 90 to 100%. Better results with BlueDragon than with their previous methodology. This to me is the golden ring. I really am glad to see this one. And there was some group of outliers that said there was no difference whatsoever. Okay, so there's always that. And I wonder if it's whether they implemented it correctly or didn't get the support to implement it correctly. But this is very heartwarming to see this kind of result. All right, so here's my push for the next couple of months, April and May. I'm always asking for you to present your lessons learned on some BlueDragon that you did. And I'm always going around calling folks at the last minute. I like to get ahead of that. So I have a sign-up sheet. Here it is. And I'm going to put that link, the forum sign-up sheet link on the chat. So everyone look to your chat. There is the link to this sign-up sheet. And if you have some good stuff, you can sign up all the way to November, by the way. So I'd like to get ahead. So please jump in here. If you have a good topic, give us your email, the topic, and I'll talk to you. We'll schedule it. And it takes just 2 or 3 slides. Tell us the lessons learned. You don't have to give us all your dirty laundry. And that's why people hesitate. We don't want to know your dirty laundry. We want to know how fast did you do it? Was it efficient? Was it well received? What were the stumbling blocks? How did management support you? All that good stuff. We want to know because we want to be able to help improve. And if you can show us the big picture chart, that'd be nice. If you show it broad enough, you can't read anything anyway, so it'll stay secret. Okay, so that's that. And a little bit more of minutes trivia. We have a contact list, so we'd like to keep this list up to date so we can reach out and see who's where and what do we need to do to reach the right people. Okay. So that's just some minutes trivia that we're going through here. All right. Last minute push. I highly encourage folks who want a different learning experience than the online course to come to the live workshop that we're hosting at the exact same building we had the last one here. It's the Oak Ridge Training Center, Technical Training Center. Phenomenal, modern, great training environment. Um, and it's outside the gate. So there's no issues with badging or clearances, nothing like that. Just show up, take the class. Okay, that's it. How much time did we spend? Good, about 15 minutes on the Administrivia. Now let's get to what we came here for.